The startup community is thriving and many regard Singapore as an entrepreneurial hub. But growing your fledgling business takes more than just a great idea and a desire to work for yourself. Success could mean knowing if you are a key person of influence as well. Joining me in the studio to tell us just what that means is Callum Laing, investor and CEO of Entrepreneurship Asia, an organization that supports business leaders and entrepreneurs in developing their business. Welcome, Callum.
Thank you, John.
Callum, you help entrepreneurs and leaders stand out in business, and part of it sort of involves them taking the key person of influence test. Briefly tell us what this test entails.
Yeah, so the test is really an indicator. It's a free test that anyone can take online, and what we're really looking at is people's ability to influence their target clients to get specific results. So if you look at somebody like Jamie Oliver that everyone knows, Jamie Oliver uses his influence to make you a better chef or to help children eat more healthily. So what we're doing at Key Person of Influence is working with good entrepreneurs, but giving them the opportunity to create real impact in their communities and on their target markets.
Right. So one of the KPI test questions asks if the entrepreneur essentially can articulate their business vision without people thinking it's strange. So, I mean, Jamie Oliver does a fantastic job at that. Is that a common challenge, though, for an entrepreneur, especially for someone who's just launched himself into the business?
Yeah, I think often we're so wrapped up in the business ourselves. We've all been to business networking events or social events where we meet someone and we ask them what they do, and we glaze over because we have no idea what they're talking about. And actually, it's such an important skill for a business owner to be able to communicate how they create value in the world. And so understanding, oftentimes we understand it, but just doing it in a way that other people can not only understand it, but are willing to then go out and talk about it for you, pitch on your behalf.
So you talk about creating value for your consumers. What trends stand out for opportunities in terms of doing business in Singapore and the region right now?
This is a very exciting time to be an entrepreneur, especially in this region. There's so much disruption going on that creates lots and lots of trends. I think there's a lot of talk already about the startup and getting started. I think some of the stuff that's very interesting to me right now is what happens at the other end. How do you raise money? How do you exit businesses? One of the private equity companies that I'm involved with, the Unity Group, is pioneering a process called agglomeration, which is where you get a cooperative of entrepreneurs together to use the public markets. And that sort of innovation is really a really exciting trend right now.
Singapore's economy typically sees quite robust foreign investment, but then there's that policy of tightening manpower in recent years. Is Singapore still an easy place to start up?
Yeah, I think it's an incredibly easy place. I think it's got such a supportive government, such incredible infrastructure around it. There are always challenges. Let's not take anything away from being an entrepreneur. There's a lot of challenges that come with that. But every country has its own challenges, and I think there's very few places in the world entrepreneurs would rather be than here. It's an incredible opportunity.
Callum, like you said, plenty of challenges in being an entrepreneur. It's not helped by the fact that there's the perennial issue of rising business costs, isn't it? As well as manpower shortages. How can startups better leverage resources to jump through the hoops, so to speak?
Look, I've got a book coming out in a month's time, and one of the points I raise in it is that if we were to go back and talk to entrepreneurs 50 years ago or 100 years ago and complain about difficulties with manpower, we would get laughed out of the place. I mean, we've got so much resources, so much ability. That aside, I think the way to countenance any problem is to look at the opportunities around you. I mean, we do live in a very global environment. You don't need to have your co-founder sitting next to you. They could be sitting on the other side of the planet. So just using that ability to live in a global environment, I think, takes away a lot of these problems. And if you get the right people around you, whether that's physically or virtually, most of your problems disappear.
So no better time than now to start.
I think it's the best time ever.
All right, thanks very much for sharing those perspectives, Callum.
Pleasure.
I've been speaking with Callum Laing, investor and CEO of Entrepreneurship Asia. Now we're going for a short break, but coming up, a new online